everybody? Welcome to the EZL Talent Show bLiTz tournament. My name is Imperium and I'm joined casting this what is set to be some absolutely crazy action by MarzOverlord.
Doing good. How are you doing, Imperium?
I'm pretty good. I'm a little bit tired. I've been casting for several hours before this in another title, but I've always got some energy for some bLiTz and a little bit of casting on the bLiTz, and this is different for me. You know, when you're casting something like bLiTz that involves talent and that involves some crazy action going on the fold that is the 3v3 map, it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. In this game, we do have the Brotherhood on the A side and up and coming on the B side, and it is a best of 3 series, Mars.
Best of 3 is always fun, especially in bLiTz. You never know what's going to happen.
No, you don't. And you know, like, what is your favorite hero to play in bLiTz?
You gotta be that jewel, jumping on someone with the double big red button.
You know, this is one of the few situations where you can justifiably use the word toxic for a game, and these games are set to be pretty damn toxic just because of the talents. You know, so it's going to be interesting what kind of talents that the players have in their kit and based on the heroes that they want to pick. And my personal favorite is Gwen, just because on CP, because the skedaddle cancels or resets the bookshot, so you're able to get insane damage on your bookshot. When you use it, you reset it and you use it again. And on a strong CP build like Shatterglass Clockwork, it's pretty damn dangerous.
Very honestly, I don't think I've ever won a match against Gwen in bLiTz.
Well, see, that's the thing. Very strong here, but the cons we do see that are coming out between the two teams is Idris, Scarf, and Koshka on the side of the Brotherhood, and then for up and coming, we do have Vox, Grace, and Arden.
Comps all around, and I would like to point out that the Scarf chose the Goop talent already instead of choosing the triple shot. They provide a lot of damage with the Goop anymore, but it does provide a very strong slow.
It does indeed, and that's going to make a big difference in this game. Then looking at the Arden, it does have the Vanguardian talent on level 8, so that is going to give a really strong barrier to either himself or what most notably will be the Vox with the gauntlet coming down.
Landing on the Scarf, the Kasha is stuck inside. She cannot do anything, even with that talent. Up to... They're still chasing down, under to the Crystal Sentry. They can't find anything, though. The Scarf peel with that Goop is just too good right now.
Yeah, and plus that Holy Nova on the Grace is really solid. I know it was kind of a little bit lucky with the timing to stun up the Idris when the Idris did activate the ult, but really nicely activated. I do like the builds that are coming out between the two teams, especially the side of up and coming with the Vox on weapon power, the Arden on a bit of a defense, and then Grace on CP.
Caught out a bit, actually. Arden going in. Grace cannot find anything. Fountain does have to be popped. Koshka gets stuck in that Holy Nova. She does land the ult on the Vox, though, but the Vox still looked very healthy, especially with that Grace ult dropping down. Idris is coming in from the top, but he doesn't look like he's going to be doing too much, just backing up for now.
That the divine intervention was really expertly executed onto the Koshka just to heal him up really nicely and fully. But look at this, the turret is nearly down on the side of up and coming. Luckily, they're just going to be able to survive that wave push. If Idris had it pushed to himself on his own, he would have got that turret instead of come down to try to save the Scar. So definitely a bit of a missed chance for Brotherhood.
Jumping onto the Vox right now. Holy Nova lands on the Idris, entirely caught out. And he could not escape from that.
He could not indeed. So we do see this working away in terms of up and coming. They are 3 points ahead. There's only 2.5 minutes gone. So that means there's about 2.5 minutes left in this game. It's still all to play for. A couple of kills with the gauntlets coming out.
Finally stepped out of the gauntlet, so no longer stunning. The Holy Nova missed. That was bad for up and coming.
It wasn't. And plus, without the Vox there's no point in really engaging, as the Vox does look to secure the wave. Idris does burst out the chakram, but on weapon power, it's not really going to do much damage on the turret Mars.
Can't do anything with the minions not pushed up yet, especially on that weapon path. He doesn't have that burst. Looking in, going in to take the turret. The Holy Nova lands on the Koshka because Koshka dumps in. Vox backing up in the box. Idris is just in the back lines of the fight. He can't really seem to do much because of that weapon build. He would need to get in there. And there goes Koshka.
Yeah, but if you did notice, the Scarf did in turn take the gold mine, so that's 3 points on this side of Brotherhood. So that does make it only a 1 point difference between the two teams.
Looking like they're kind of catching out the Idris. Vox is going in, up and coming, getting the double kill. And it looks like they're just going to take this front turret.
That'd be a wise choice with only a minute and 10 seconds to go, giving them a 6 point lead. That's really strong for up and coming to keep themselves alive, to using the divine intervention onto himself. The cooldown on that is only about 13, 15 seconds or so. So that is just, he uses it, it's up by the next team fight. Job done. It's just providing so much healing for that team. Both the Arden and the Grace who have found as well.
Arden is going in. The Holy Nova lands on the Koshka. Again, Koshka is just stuck up. Gauntlet almost landing on the Idris, but not quite hitting it. Vox is just in the back lines getting some serious stacks on that breaking point. Idris is trying, but he cannot get in. Scarf laying on some damage, though. Looks like the Scarf is just going to get caught out because that barrier on the Vox is just crazy. This Arden talent really coming in strong.
Arden talent and just protect the carry. In that case, it was just simply keep that Vox alive, looking to make sure that he can build up all of that damage, all those stacks with the Serpent's Mask breaking point bonus all build along with Slumber and Husk. It's a pretty meta build from a less toxic point of view. So really nicely done. It's interesting that up and coming, outside of talent, they actually have a kind of a good idea in terms of protect the carry comp. So I like to see that normal type comp coming out in these bLiTz matches.
Honestly, this team fight doesn't matter. Arden just going in, sacrificing himself, but they still get the kill on the Koshka. Holy Nova lands on the Scarf. Wait for it. It doesn't land on anyone, but it does not matter here. 4-14.
Indeed. So that's game one in this best of 3 series. With up and coming taking that first game. Like I said, the comp that they came out with was really actually in meta. I like that Grace build. Normally Grace is associated with either full support or weapon power, but going for that CP as well as a little bit of defense, like I mentioned, the divine intervention was just basically on cooldown every 15 seconds. So it was just really nicely done off meta builds, plus with a nice talent. It just alleviates the fun part of the game, and it kind of really adds to the fun and excitement of the game. But that's who doesn't like a little bit of spicy toxicity when you're ranking and when you're playing the 5v5 mode or even a 3v3 mode. It's a little bit more serious and it's a little bit more hardcore. So playing a fun bLiTz, it's needed.
That's very. And the Brotherhood here actually pulling out again another controlling more composition with the Grace Alpha and Assault.
Saw kill, Saw push turret, Saw win the game. That's the kind of comp that we do see coming out from the Brotherhood. So that's an interesting. It's definitely an interesting comp that's coming out from them. I do like the kinetic Arden and Vox. I would have expected it actually to have been a CP Vox maybe against this comp, but going for the weapon power Vox and the CP kinetic, that CP kinetic is going to do a lot of damage, especially with her ult onto the Saw.
Indeed, but this Saw is just going to have crazy sustain, especially with that talent that allows the bullet to shoot through. I don't know what their comp is going to do. Sure, they have range, but Saw's range is just more.
It is, and with that talent that pushes the suppressing fire through and the basic attacks, I nearly would have gone for CP just to be that little bit extra toxic. But that's just, again, that's the kind of player I can be sometimes. But we do see Alpha going for the crystal tree into look and secure those points.
Vox going in on the Alpha. She's backing up towards the lane, but Vox is still just getting in there. Alpha using that core charge over and over again, but is doing nothing against the Vox. Put her in the sleep, and Grace up there going in on the kinetic. Can't get anything. The gauntlet a bit unnecessary, but Alpha still does go down.
Well, if it helps to secure a kill, then job done. Mars, we did see Miss Tigera struggle a little bit on her own, but did keep the turret alive, so it's definitely not bad for up and coming. Definitely in this game 2 in the best of 3 series, it's up to up and coming to win this second game just to push it over the limit, and they can take the 2 games. So there's no need to take it to a third game because at the end of the day, it's still a competition, whether it's for a bit of fun. So you want to get these clean wins as much as possible, and just to make sure your team advances as quickly as possible.
It's like a team fight over here is breaking out. She gets stunned out of the Holy Nova. Fountain comes out and barely saves her. Saw is getting a lot of damage onto Miss Tigera and McKaylin, though. Up for now. Oh, never mind. Kinetic picks up the kill on the Saw under the turret. That range on her A is kind of crazy. Holy Nova does land on the Argnar, is kind of stuck under the turret. Alpha is not getting that much damage, though. The huge barrier coming out onto the Argnar. It looks like this turret might just drop. The Atlas does land Holy Nova, but Alpha is just put into that reboot again.
See, because with this talent on the Connect, the reason why it's CP is because her A ability, Plasma Driver, fires 2 additional bursts, so it's just doing essentially double or triple the damage with that A. So going CP route, we're seeing it have a lot of effect as up and coming take the lead 5 points to 3 with about 2 minutes to go in this Blitz game. Mars.
Looks like this Vox is also going that same build that they went last game. Rough going into these later stages. Vox going in on the Alpha once they saw her taking the Crystal Sentry. Gauntlet goes down, almost lands on the Saw, but a nice Crucible. Holy Nova goes. But the wait for it lands on all 3 members. That blocks up one of the abilities from the Grace. Intervention. Alpha goes down without even going into reboot. Holy Nova lands on no one, and the Saw is just in between a rock and a hard place. He is dealing a lot of damage, but he just falls.
Triple kill. The strong kinetic CP is just keeping himself alive. That gauntlet was nicely executed. And plus, with that gold mine, that gives him a massive lead of 11 to 3, Mars. I definitely feel that King Crusher needs a bit more defense. Hasn't ages, but going up against a Vox, in some way, you definitely need a little bit of weapon power defense, or even Slumber and Husk would have gotten the job done. As you see, the Slumber and Husk is activated as the team fight gets going on.
Not doing anything. Kinetic is doing a lot of damage. Puts her into the reboot already, and the explosion does nothing to the Vox because of the barrier. Saw trying to get in some damage, but the Atlas does land, and Grace falls immediately as she dives back in there. Saw just going to run for the hills up to the turret.
Run to the hills. Run for your goddamn life. Saw as Miss Tigera gets another double kill and is just carrying this game and this CP Kinetic for up and coming. They are certainly up and coming in this tournament with 30 seconds remaining. It seems like they're really going to close this out. It would take a bit of a miracle for the Brotherhood to win this game for sure.
Alpha jumps in and cannot get any damage on. She dies almost immediately. Gauntlet does land on the Saw, so he isn't able to get into the team fight. Saw does pop the ult, but that barrier on the Vox is just too much. He isn't doing anything, and that is game.
Yeah, Mars, that game 2 and the series goes over to up and coming. Really nicely executed by that. It came down to that CP Kinetic getting 7 kills to 0. None of up and coming actually died. The 3 points that the Brotherhood got was from that sentry at the start of the game. When you're looking at the builds, I know it's only game Blitz, but it does make a bit of a difference. That Alpha build with Stormcrown just was doing nothing. It's a slot that was taking away from some weapon power defense or Slumber and Husk. I did like the Shatter Glass, for that on-hit damage, but when you're not tanky enough on the alpha, when you're diving in, especially in a blitz, you're just going to get shut down so quickly, and that's what happened. I like the Saul getting Slumber and Husk. But Breaking Point was definitely needed rather than Tyrant Spawn. I'd like to see one of these teams, push the boat a little bit.
Technical difficulties, you cut out for me.
Oh, my humble apologies. I just said, I definitely like to see the boat being pushed out in terms of toxicity and the comps that are being picked.
Be fun, and it looks like we're having a bit of variety with the Finn, Sky, and Vox. That's not a comp you see often.
But with this Finn, depending on the talent that he has, it could prove in his favor if it's the indestructible talent that just keeps him alive forever and ever and ever and ever. Amen. But looking at the side that is coming out from rare talent, we see a Chortada on Kestrel. We see Abusive on Arden, and then we do see Lovable Cookie on Kinetic. So it's a bit of a range comp that's going to put a lot of pressure on this Finn. Looking at the talent in these two teams, we do see the faster talent, which gives Polite Company bonus move speed to Finn his ally. So that means that he possibly will be able to get to this backline a little bit quicker by activating the B. So that could be definitely a benefit for his team, but only time will tell, Mars.
I don't know about putting pressure on Finn because he's going full tank. Arden going in with the gauntlet, not landing on anyone, though instantly having to jump back out. The Vanguard doing some big barriers on, but the Vox is just getting huge barriers out of that level 10 talent, and Kestrel just gets melted by the forward barrage out of the sky. Trying to retreat back to the Crystal Sentry, and it looks like he might get away. Oh, Sky series striking over, but it looks like Vox is going to get the kill because Arden jumped back in on the Finn.
Well, no, the Arden didn't jump back. Did Arden jump back on the Finn? No, the Finn used the hook, forced the cord, and hooked the Arden onto the Vox's side. So that definitely was secure. But we do see the turnout looking to be jumped and looking to be chunked out. One shot, one kill in the opposite direction.
In the words of a scoundrel, it doesn't matter about hitting your opponent. It matters about sending a message with that one shot, one kill. Down to that forward barrage, and the forward barrage just melting. Trascal getting huge barriers out of that passive talent, but the Kestrel landing big damage with that weapon build, stunning up the Vox, but the Vox's barriers are just too big. Vox going in on the Arden. Looks like he might go under turret. No, Arden is just too tanky.
I do like the sweatiness coming out of this game. The kills going all over the place. One shot, one kills going all over the place. Definitely not on the enemy team, but I like the fact that Chortada did try to recover that quite nicely, getting a double kill in the process. So definitely recovered well. 2 minutes gone in this game, or just under 2 minutes. Is due to see.
And Chortada just falling instantly to that forward barrage. Arden kind of caught out here. Man looking to land that Quibble stun, but the hook lands instead. Looks like they're all gonna fall here. This is disaster. The Arden going in with the gauntlet, walks out of it, doesn't get a stun on anyone, and Arden is just barely gonna stay alive. With the Vanguard gets pulled back in by the Finn. The Quibble lands on the Kestrel, but they just ignore her and let her go back to base. The damage from the Kestrel stacking up, but the Forward Barrage just instantly melts Kestrel. Kinetic being chased into the base.
Can we all talk about the turret dive? Can we all talk about the turret dive? That's because Blitz 1, 2, 3 are stuck between a rock and a hard place. They have to team fight in this game so far because they literally are pushed on two turrets, and the wave has taken down one of them.
Oh, the Sky just getting melted, but Trazicol could do this if he gets the barriers. He's getting more and more from that passive, but he just falls instantly. They overcommitted a bit, but it is 8-14 now.
That third dive by Blitz 1, 2, 3 was insane. It was a little bit toxic. It was a little bit sexy, and I definitely enjoyed it. But it could prove a slight bit of a downfall, as it seems like the Crystal Sentry is secured by rare talent. That puts the point difference between the two teams at only 3. So it does give rare talent a bit of a chance. But it seems like Kinetic.
Oh, the footsie cord landing on the Kinetic. Kinetic is just getting melted through the barrier, and Sky picking up the kill, and that is the game. Oh, my bad. Fox picking up the kill.
Get one game mode being in some way, hypothetically speaking, pay to win. But talking away from that, we are in this Game 2 Best of 3 series between Rare Talent and bLiTz 123. This is the EZL Talent Show, brought to you by EZL in sponsorship with VainPro.gg, VGPro.gg, my apologies, as well as Band Gaming, which is a great app for communicating when it comes to games and mobile games. And there's a fantastic app available of Band that you're able to download, set up calendars and stuff like that. So it's really good, really nice to be supporting EZL. EZL brings you such fantastic content, community-based, company essentially that are looking to just bring VG players together, Mars.
Yes, definitely. And speaking of VG players, might I point out, someone in the Twitch chat hopping a bit on K-Mill. Legend says that once upon a time, K-Mill threw a grenade and killed 50 people. K-Mill has quite a reputation in bLiTz, I guess.
Nothing beats a good Chuck Norris the joke that is like not a Chuck Norris joke, if that makes sense. But we do see the scout counts being hopped all over the place, seeing as that Kestrel is being picked up. But we do see both a Baron and a Arden on both teams, with only the difference being a Vox and a Kestrel. Can I look at a gauntlet?
Traps the Baron inside. Baron jumps right into the gauntlet wall and just gets melted. This team fight is going disastrous. Baron is just melting every player on the team. Abusive barely gets away with his life, and they're just going to take the turret for this.
They should look at that.
Kill with those porcupine mortars.
Wow, 6-0 in less than a minute. 6-0. Fantastic.
Powerful, I guess.
You could say that indeed, Mars. Indeed, but we do look at the fact that both Barons are CP, the Vox and the Kestrel respectively are weapon power as well. I did like the fact that the Baron on the side of bLiTz 123 went for Spellfire Clockwork. It gave him more space to...
The Arden Gauntlet again, landing all three of them in, but he's just going to have to back up out of the Gauntlet, not getting a single stun. Lands the Vanguard onto Tordata, that way he can get away, hopefully. He's going in for the engage, trying to get Lefter for VG, but that Vanguard is just too strong. Almost tripled Lefter for DG's health. But so is the Kestrel underneath the turret.
As we do see, this is 9-1. This is turning into bLiTz 123, Blitzkrieg by bLiTz 123 at this stage of game. 2.5 minutes gone thereabouts in this game. Looking at the builds, it's all toxic weapon power. Kestrel in Left 4 Dead, going for crit galore, crits, nips for crits for nips all day long by bLiTz 123 in this Kestrel. Fantastic, just a certain level of toxicity that is duly needed within these bLiTz modes.
Just pointing out right now that the Kestrel barely landing the one-shot kill, but it does nothing. The Slumbering Husk already popped on the enemy Baron. Trazicol with that Spellfire is doing some crazy damage. The Porcupine Mortars, the ult lands. The Porcupine Mortars are just slaughtering the Baron. He's having to back up. The Crucible does come out in time. The Fountain only lands on Lovable Cookie, though. The turret does fall. Kestrel getting in some nice damage with that crazy crit build.
Indeed, crazy crit build, but I really love that positioning by the Baron, by the way, in Trazicol. It was nice for him to go from the opposite direction. It really flanked the enemy team, and it helped secure that team fight. 16-1. That is domination, destruction, just complete disrespect, so to speak, showing by bLiTz 123 under Rare Talent as they take this series 2-0, and they will move on to the next round in this EZL Talent Show tournament.
I'm wondering how the Brotherhood is going to stand against them, because they're just looking like the Rocks Armada of bLiTz. They're just doing so good.
The Rocks Armada of bLiTz. The bLiTz Armada, the Rocks Blitzmada of bLiTz. Julie, a due title that is definitely, definitely could be assigned to them in future tournaments if the talent and the bLiTz tournaments do kick off a bit more. They could easily adopt the Rocks Armada name to their benefit. But 3, if I am correct, I haven't been told otherwise. I will try to find out. But we do see the 2 comps. Why don't you break us down the 2 comps that have gone down?
See the Fortress and the Taka, both picks that you wanted, and surprisingly, no Arden in this match. Bit difficult. They do have the barrier and the lifesteal out of the Fortress, and if McKalen is playing that barrier talent on Lance, then they should be set to just dive in with the barriers.
Oh yes, indeed. I do like the comps that are coming out. Between the 2 teams, I really like the Fortress, which has the flank attack talent. So that means the Truth of the Tooth A ability and the Law of the Claw B ability both spawn wolves every time it's activated with a maximum of 3 wolves. So that will play a part, but when you're up against a Vox that's weapon power, that has double shield, that's what I like to see coming from up and coming.
Lane. Lefter for BG is just chasing in so hard, getting 7 breaking point stacks already just in that little engagement. Taka coming up from the bush, jumping on Lefter for BG, and Lefter for BG is just dying so fast with the Mortal Wound applied from the Taka. But look at this. The team fight is coming back on the side of... They're just melting all of them because of that damage coming through with the Fortress and the Vox. All that split damage in a little corral. And that's a triple kill and an ace on the side of bLiTz 1-2-3 in the first minute of the match.
Yeah, and this one was best of 3, so that's like bLiTz 1-2-3 getting a nice bit of a stronghold on this game, getting that triple kill nicely done, really nicely executed. What I do find interesting...
Taka diving almost underneath the turret to try and get the kill on this Baron, but the Wolves are just chasing this Taka, not allowing him to get back in. He does land the Kaiten with that extra range because of the talent. The ult does land on the box, but no one else. And it looks like K-Mill is somehow surviving. Lefter for VG is coming into the fight. Sanitide just getting melted, but they're chasing hard after this Taka. But the barrier coming out for the Lance barely keeps him alive. Lefter for VG is just fighting back and out with Sanitize. The Slumbering House finally popping, and K-Mill with those Wolves just getting in that Mortal Wound over and over. They're going back in for Hyperforce. Looks like Hyperforce is trying to jump back up, but he gets blown up instantly by Tactical, who comes out of nowhere. Tactical swinging this fight, killing Sanitize, and they're just trying to dive in on McKalen. Looks like they're going to follow up all the way to the Crystal Sentry, and those Wolves coming out of K-Mill's ability are just kind of swinging these fights like crazy.
Yeah, and it was also the fact that the Baron, when came back into this fight after dying, does his job. However, he's going to lose his life in the process.
Looks like they overextended just a little bit. Lefter for VG is just going to back up and leave K-Mill for dead in that adorable little shark suit. Over to the Crystal Sentry, he might be able to get away. Taka landing that Kaiten, but he cannot get away. Lefter for VG misses the wall jump and is dueling with Sanitize and McKalen right now. The Atlas lands on Lefter for VG, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to pull out of this one. He gets almost rooted by the tree, and where's Fortress and all this? Baron takes the top turret, getting melted by Hyperforce right now. Looks like he's just going to trade his life for the turret. Lefter for VG and Tactical both get away.
So toxic by Lefter for VG. That's what I love to hear. Look, that's what I love to see. Just being a cheeky little monkey on this game. So it's 9-4 between the 2 teams, but it's 1-3.
Land on Lefter for VG. The wait for it also lands. K-Mill going in, but the Baron landing those porcupine motors already pops the husk on Sanitize. They're just diving in. That Baron is getting some huge damage, but the Taka is just too sticky. Lefter for VG does end up chasing all the way to kill Sanitize. Baron cleaning up with these kills, though, landing these porcupine motors over and over, and they're just going to dive under the turret and try and kill this Lance.
Dude, one thing that is really interesting to note, by the way, is that it is a bit of a hybrid Vox of weapon power and CP. Majority weapon, but has a little bit of CP in his kit.
Because that's what you want to get on a weapon box.
Hey, look, it's no. Yeah, but sold the CP maybe might have been a mistake, but still did something in that team fight. 12-6 with 1 minute remaining. It's up and coming to be more than just up and coming and actually come up to secure the next team fight.
You know, Hyperforce jumps onto the Baron, instantly melting and putting on the Mortal Wound. There's a little fight from Sanitize and Electro for VG. Electro for VG is jumping back in, trying to land some damage on Hyperforce before he starts melting the Baron even more. Electro for VG is going deep in this fight, and Baron is nowhere to be found. Tactical is not in this fight. Electro for VG dies. K-Mill is still trying to dive in, kill the Lance. He does land the kill on the Lance. Hyperforce going in big on this Baron. They end up trading, and K-Mill is just going to have to back up. This team fight was huge from
bLiTz 123.
No, up and coming.
It's okay, don't worry about it. 10 seconds remaining. It's going to be essentially bLiTz 123's game to win or to lose, should I say. Time is up. First game goes up to bLiTz 123 in this best of 3 series. I like the different comps that came out. The Fortress was new, the Taka was new, but at the end of the day, the Taka just wasn't pretty strong on bLiTz, along with the likes of Rhyme, even Cruel. They all have their possibilities, all have their strengths. Never mind, we're forgetting Lyra, Adagio. They're both healing heroes that are able to pull out a lot more with their talents.
Yes, definitely. One thing, now that you pointed out both Lyra and Adagio, neither of them have been played this entire tournament. I kind of want to.
Oh, Lyra, Adagio, cool. Adagio, Petal, and Baron.
I'm confused on this. Petal.
Never underestimate the strong money side of Vainglory. Now, time will tell whether it's going to be a CP or a weapon power. It's going to be a weapon power Petal with a CP Vox. That's a really interesting comp coming out, or build paths based on their comp coming out from bLiTz 123.
So double clockwork for BG. I don't know if they realized, but in this last patch, capped at 45%.
It is, but hey, look, when you're toxic, who cares about caps? The only cap you care about when you're toxic is the Kappa cap,
Oh man, wow, the Porcupine Mortar is already dealing huge damage. It's a double CP out of the side of bLiTz 123. Arden going in with the Gauntlet does land on Tragical. Tragical going in with the Porcupine Mortars, landing on all 3 members at one point, and the Healing Burst heals all of bLiTz 123 up to full health. They just drop with this Baron's crazy damage.
Yeah, CP Baron on Tragical in particular is looking pretty damn effective. And then with the Pulse Weave capacitor plate, a Crucible build of Adagio, that's really strong heating.
G is kind of just jumping around the walls, so we'll just ignore them for now until they join in a team fight. What's happening there? I don't know.
It's bLiTz, man. Anything can happen. That's all I will say.
Looks like Sanitize switching over from the Vox last game to a bit more roamy on a Grace, and Electro for VG is still hopping around the enemy base. Looks like a little bit of the team fight is going to pop out. K-Mill and Tactical in a 2v3 situation. Vox is getting melted by these Porcupine Motors over and over. Grace wishes she had Echo right now, but that was removed. K-Mill going in a bit too deep, does land the Gift of Fire. Looks like the Verse Adjustment stuns 2 people. And the Healing Verse also landing on Tactical, just healing him up so much. The Treant root up, and Tactical just landing those Porcupine Murders on all of them again and again, and Hyperforce just giving up on this fight. Still
just trying to create that distraction, use that Vanguard, delaying the inevitable. Still alive, using the Gauntlet stuns
2 members and keeps himself
He's
alive.
still alive. A team fight breaking out again. Melting again with those porcupine mortars, getting that spellfire mortal wounds on the Vox. He cannot get any healing out of that shiv, and the porcupine mortars slaughtering them, landing on all 3. And then Camille has just taken the sentry, has left her for VG, is just chasing Sanitize for the kill.
Yeah, this is impressive stuff. 11-0. There's no way back for up and coming. Up and coming are just going to be up and stopping in this blitz. I feel to listen just under 2 minutes to go, and it would really take a miracle for up and coming to get back into this game. But time will tell.
Burst lands on all members. Sanitize missing the Holy Nova. Doesn't land on anyone. Tactical is zoned out of this fight this time. Looks like the miracle is coming true. Lefter for VG is at really low health. Baron is landing these porcupine mortars still, but the Fox is just falling. Fountain lands on McKaylin, barely keeps him alive. Sanitize going in deep on Tactical. Looks like the Adachi was going to fall, but he drops down the verse, heals him up to full health again. Sanitize about to die. Those porcupine mortars. Tactical just dropped out of the fight. Looks like K-Mill is trying to pull off the 1v3 hero play, but doesn't get it. Tactical laying the porcupine mortars over the wall, and it kills the Grace. That is game over.
Hey, look, up and coming. They got 1 kill on the board for their misery that was this blitz game. It must have been very frustrating for them. But when you look at the build paths, there's no real damage coming out from up and coming. Yes, they have CP Vox, but it's a hybrid Vox. So, the CP damage that the Vox does have is nothing. And with Poison Shiv, with just a Poison Shiv, there's no breaking point. There's no Dragon's Eye in some way, shape, or form. There's just, there's no real damage and there's no stacking damage on any of up and coming. It was a matter of, when they would die rather than if they would die. And that's all really just outside of how well bLiTz 123 played in this whole tournament and in this series in particular. When you have no damage, you're not going to be able to do anything in any kind of engagement.
Even with all that defense and Aegis on all players and against a triple CP comp, but they couldn't survive again with that no damage being dropped down, and they couldn't really lock on to Tactical. He just kept on getting away.
Just kept on getting away, indeed. So that does mean that the bLiTz, this EZL talent show, brought to you by VGPro.gg and Band Gaming, is over, I do believe. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in, enjoying the fun. Thank you to EZL for putting on this lovely show. The ice will be spread out between the various winners quite nicely, so that's definitely a little bit of bonus for them. Want to thank every single person for tuning in, the viewers, just for having a bit of a laugh along the way. I do hope more tournaments like this can be created. That's just fun for the community, for people to join in. They can win something like a little bit of ice or something like that in the future. My name is Imperium. Thank you very much to MarzOverlord, my caster friend, for casting with me. It was a genuine pleasure, first time casting with you. And I know it's not a normal game situation, but it was good fun. I really enjoyed it. So until next time, thank you very much again, and see you all in the future.